Hey guys, what's up? 7stop here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about MW2R, the Modern Warfare 2 remaster of the campaign at least.
Yeah.
And raging about how there was no multiplayer. Anyway, we're going to talk about why we're actually really happy with this remaster.
Oh yes, very much.
We've seen people say it's underwhelming or disappointing, but we actually think it's a really good remaster. One of the best remasters I've played.
Probably, yeah. They have some really great Easter eggs and stuff, which we'll get into. But the main thing is the visuals. So the biggest
point of a remaster.
Yeah, the visuals. But the thing is, what happens most of the time is, like for example, for Modern Warfare Remastered, yeah, they just up the visuals and stuff like that. But MW2R actually goes above and beyond and actually adds some stuff. But still, the visuals for MW2R are amazing.
They add things that only add to the experience. People were claiming that the visuals were underwhelming or whatever, not as good as Modern Warfare. But in some places, I think the visuals are actually just as good as Modern Warfare 2019.
Yes.
Overall, it's probably a little bit less, but in some areas, they really put a lot of work into these visuals.
Yeah,
and I was really impressed with all the details they added to the game and things.
Yeah.
We had so much fun just going around and checking out what was changed and what little details they'd add and all the places you could go that you couldn't go in the original.
And all the the details of the characters and the lighting is so. By the way, if you're thinking, oh, this game looks exactly like MWR,
it's because you've seen it in a YouTube video.
You need to you legitimately just need to play it. You can't you can't view this game on YouTube in order to get the experience. You have to play it. Most games.
When we got to the snow mission, was it contingency?
Yeah.
We saw the way the light streamed through the trees and everything. It looks so good. I was really impressed with that level. I remember I said something like, "Oh, it looks like Battlefield 5, which is a really good-looking game."
Battlefield 1, moreover. But
yeah.
But it just looked like...
It reminded me of Norvik in Battlefield 5, which is a super good-looking map.
Yeah, but the lighting is impeccable. Like, the way that things stream through the windows and, earlier in this one mission, defend Burger Town! Ramirez! But when you're, in Nate's restaurant or whatever, some random restaurant, you get to, and you see the light coming through the windows. It looks really, really neat, and it looks, atmospheric. Instead of most games, what they do is they just take light, they take whiteness, they just take white, bright light, and they just kind of slap it through the window. Whereas in this game, they make it, have particle effects. And, the shadows are just amazing.
It was really awesome to see these nostalgic environments remastered. They added so much color and detail.
The skyboxes are amazing. They have some, amazing skyboxes, especially with the Washington, D.C. part. Both those missions looked good.
Yeah.
Looked really, really good.
There were some small changes between this game and the original, but overall, the changes were mostly good.
Yeah. So, moving on from the visuals, which we've established look great, and as we said, details amazing. The characters look amazing. If you look at Price, we went around looking at dead bodies and stuff like that, zooming in on their faces to see the detail. But if you look at Price, his beard is so detailed with every little little piece of hair with snow on it and stuff.
His in-game facial model and character model look as good as a cutscene.
Yeah, throughout the game, your character does all this cool stuff that looks like it would be from a cutscene, which is, as I said, that's how you pull off a good way to pull off realism. Yeah. Battlefield 5 struggled to do this, whereas your character was always doing this stuff, picking up the ammo bags.
It's in the middle of a fight, he catches the ammo and he just has to inspect that ammo.
Has to look at his face. Whereas in this game, they pull it off really well by having your character actually move around and stuff, but not getting in the way. For example, in I remember when picking up the M4 off the table in the first mission, your character reaches over, grabs it really quickly. It's a short little cutscene,
and there's always a short little animation when your character picks up a weapon that makes it look really neat and cool.
Yeah, and it's also inspecting weapons. It looks beautiful. Yeah. The animations are top tier, which is, as I said, they established the greediness with the animations in an unintrusive way into the gameplay. Whereas I said most, Battlefield 5 are this weird rubber band monster thing with 4 arms sprouting out at once, grabbing ammo packs, shooting and stuff like that. And you always have to, your character always has to do something.
This game does physicality right in a way that doesn't intrude on the design of the original or interrupt the combat.
So moving on from that, we'll move on to the sound design.
Oh yeah, the sound was amazing. I was so impressed. by the sound.
Amazing. I love most of the...
They added echo in environments and stuff, so it feels like you're in a real building.
And the weapons are deeper sounding, more guttural.
The original game, the sound effects weren't really that good, but now the sound effects are so much better.
They're amazing.
They feel deep in like a real weapon.
Yeah, like the Vector, I think the two
with
best
the exception of
changes,
one weapon, the Spaz 12, we really didn't like the new sound effect.
That good. But the Vector and the AUG H-Bar probably have the best like new sounds, but they change them in a way that doesn't completely alter the weapon. Like it still has that feeling of familiarity, and like when you inspect it, it's really neat. As you could see little holes in the side of the gun, you could see through it, and you could see the little ammo or the little the
barrel.
Yeah, the barrels, and the your character will take out the mag, and you could see the bullets in there, and they all look really, really good.
And as we said, like when you reload, these new sound effects are amazing when you reload. And because I said they added this effect where the sound echoes in certain rooms as it would in real life, it sounds amazing when you just reload a weapon inside a empty room. It sounds like you're reloading a weapon in real life.
Yeah. It's really good. And so obviously now the story didn't really get much of a change. Like some of the characters look different. Like Price looks a little bit different, not too much, but
there's some
Shepard.
There's some added set pieces, like really short parts that they added that just enhance the story. Like your character grabs Shepard's hand when he removes the
DSM.
DSM from you,
and then Shepard just like pulls away in a disgusted manner, like you're some sort of creature. And also, there was this neat part where this goes into the grittiness that makes it feel like a cutscene, where your character, when running from the favela, your character, whenever he jumps, he like flails his arms because he's trying to run away. Yeah. Because it looked like a cutscene, but it still was actual in-game stuff, which was really nice. And
sometimes it was beautiful to just turn off the crosshair and look around.
Like we most of the time we just turned off the subtitles and the crosshair and just looked around and stuff, especially for the Washington DC.
Just an issue with the original game is that it's really hard to figure out what people are saying sometimes if you don't have subtitles on.
Yeah. Like you're missing out on like some of the best dialogue.
I didn't realize how often I was reading the subtitles until they were
gone. But
I was like, holy crap, I can't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, but they made some small changes. Like I said, Shepard looks a little bit more. He looks a little bit more like old, droopy and stuff. He doesn't look as like thin. He also. The little map scenes where like you're like looking at the map of the world and stuff, they didn't really change those, which I think is fine. You don't really need to change them.
Whenever it references like an older game, they added MWR in there because COD 4 was in the original, so you can see MWR in the new one.
Oh yeah, at the very beginning of the game, like it goes through like the flashback of what happened in that game, and they made some nice little changes as well to like little moments. Like for example, in the original, your character like they're gonna torture someone, and they're gonna take these little pinchers, these little electric like clamps, and they're look intimidating, and then they close the door. But in this one, they have the little flame torch.
Yeah, blowtorch.
Yeah, blowtorch, and then I'm trying to think of another one that they did. I know so in the very beginning of the game, in the original version, you completed the little trial run thing.
The pit?
The pit, yeah. You went into the pit. But then, in the next mission, your character just kind of wakes up, and then Shepard grabs your arm and takes you. But in the new one, it's amazing. So you're shot at with the rocket launcher. You fall out. But then Shepard goes, get up, and he actually...
You were in a truck before.
Yeah, you were in a truck. But then when the RPG comes, you fall out. But this time when you see Shepard, he actually grabs the front of you and yanks you forward. Much better than just him like kind of grabbing your arm and you getting up and walking away. Like your character's like, okay, I got to get back into it. Just some nice little minute details that make the overall experience amazing.
As with anything in existence, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some issues. There are some changes we didn't quite like, as we said, the Spaz 12. But there's some annoying glitches that we encountered. We encountered twice, which we never encountered in the original game. We played through the original game at least twice, and Sam's played through it more. But in the original campaign, we never encountered anything like this. But in this game, we encountered twice a save glitch, where a save would happen, and then we would be put in a state where we can't do anything. We literally can't move forward. The first one was in the first mission of the game, or second, because I guess the
team player.
Yeah, team player. So we were in team player, and you go through the streets with that Humvee or whatever. And when you're on the turret, at the very end of that section where you're driving through the streets, there's a truck right in front of you, and there's enemies above him. So I was spraying the machine gun, and I hit the enemies, but I also hit the guy in the turret in front of us. And then there was a checkpoint right after I hit him. And then the Humvee got shot, so I fell out. But as I was falling out, the death screen to tell me that I needed to go back to checkpoint because I shot an ally came up. So then I went back, but the checkpoint had happened after I shot the ally. So I was in an infinite loop of being reset because of this.
Yeah.
So we had to restart the whole mission.
Yeah, friendly. Yeah, every single time that you would load it, like, it would have the black screen, and then it would load in, and it would be like, whom? And he jumps out of the vehicle, friendly fire is not tolerated.
Yeah.
Boom, jumps out of the vehicle, friendly fire is not tolerated. Boom, jumps out of the vehicle, friendly fire is not tolerated.
Yeah, and there was another one also. This one was particularly frustrating because it happened at near the end of a long mission.
Actually, at the very end of the long mission.
Yeah.
So the second to last mission, forget what it's called. But we're going down. We're going with Price. We're taking out the Shepherd's men. It was awesome. It was
it looks
fun.
great.
We're going along, and then we see you have to disarm this room full of C4.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Price wasn't following us, so we just kind of advanced in, and then we went in the room.
So we went into the room before all the enemies were dead. So Price was busy fighting those enemies, and he didn't advance forward with it. So we went into the room, and then the countdown started, because the countdown doesn't actually trigger technically until you blast open the door. So we opened the door, but in order to get past this section, you need to have Price go on this computer on the other side of the room, and you also need to do it. And you can't do both yourself. So Price was too far away. It was physically impossible to get Price into the room fast enough so that we could open the door and escape. Mm-hmm. So we just had to restart the mission. It was really annoying.
And even though you would think, like in the first mission, hey, you shouldn't have shot him. Well, trust me, every time, you're not the only one who, like, everybody has done this who has ever existed. You've always shot your teammate at least once on accident.
Yeah.
Because, like, sometimes their name will
Because I was just spraying wildly, and what I was doing was, in this game and all COD campaigns, if you spam the left trigger, you just automatically lock onto enemies. But there was an enemy right behind the ally in front of me, so I locked onto him and shot my ally.
Yeah, so, and then for that second one, the thing is, you should have killed all the enemies. Well, the thing is, Price was stuck on this, like, one part. He wasn't advancing up, helping us kill the enemies. Mm-hmm. Like, as we were moving forward killing all the enemies and stuff, Price was just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
So by the time
and
we
he
got
was,
to
like,
the room,
glitching out on a rock.
And by the time we got to the room, he finally came back, and again, we had to restart the entire mission.
And then when we restarted, we had to be super careful and make sure we cleared every enemy and made sure Price followed us, and it wasn't fun. But in the end, we really like this remaster. We think it's a top tier remaster, even with the glitches. Mm-hmm. They're pretty minor in the grand scheme of the game, and if we just played a little more carefully, we could have avoided them.
Yeah.
But of course, we just said we like the remaster, so I hope you enjoyed our video, our short review of this remaster. I hope you consider getting it yourself if you're a big fan of MW2 and you have nostalgia.
It's $20.
Yeah, like, it's a pretty good deal if you're a fan of MW2.
It's much better than like the $30, getting like a $30 game for like $40. Like MWR.
Yeah, MWR was $40.
Definitely
even though the game was much older.
Mm-hmm. And it still came with multiplayer, which, by the way, please add the multiplayer for this game. After playing the campaign, it would be so good if you added the multiplayer. But anyway,
I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye, guys. Consider subscribing for more content like this.